StormSmart has dependable custom hurricane protection products, hurricane screens, accordion shutters, aluminum roll-down shutters, flood mitigation systems. Because protected beats lucky every time. Be safe, be smart, be StormSmart.
Hi everyone, meteorologist Jason Adams here in tonight for Dennis. He is off today and he said, hey man, need you to do me a favor, need you to hop on DPL and talk about this rain coming this weekend. I do see though on Facebook, he always updates the captions and the titles on Facebook and YouTube. And he talks about more on Sunday for the rain chances, but coming into work this afternoon and this evening, it actually is more like Saturday night now. So the timing on this is speeding up. So we're going to spend some time talking about that here on DPL this evening. Also, we are not on the spot Tampa Bay 66 because we have playoff hockey that's on that channel right now. Of course, not the Lightning, but let's see who is it. Boston and Ottawa, it looks like. So I don't have commercials tonight, so I can spend the entire 30 minutes here hanging out with you guys, and then I'll wrap up close to 8 o'clock, head out for dinner, and enjoy my Friday or my Thursday evening. My days are always thrown off because I do Saturday and Sunday, and then I'm usually in on Friday. So, and those of you that don't know, I do doubles on the weekends, so my full 40-hour work week is Friday to Sunday. So anytime I'm in here not on Friday to Sunday, it's always so confusing as far as what day it is. So remind me if I slip up and say the wrong date that, hey, it's not that date. All right, let me pull up the chat and see who's on it tonight. We're going to, of course, wait a couple of minutes and let everybody get in here because I know the rain is very important in the forecast this weekend. So many things happening for so many of you. I'm going to be talking specifically about Tampa Riverfest. It's a two-day event happening Friday and Saturday here on the Riverwalk. We'll be detailing that for you as well coming up here over the next half hour. Also, for those of you that have been following my story every time I fill in for DPL, which is usually about once every 2 months, the last time I was on here talking with you guys, I was telling you that my sister bought a house. They're getting ready to sell theirs up in Maryland. She is now hours away from being a permanent Tampa Bay resident now. They should be closing in on Jacksonville or Savannah, somewhere in that area on I-95, and they're going to be here tonight. And they are here now permanently. So no more going back to Maryland. She will for her job. She's working remote for her job, and she works for the DOD. So she's going to have to be going up to D.C. quite a bit for travel, but I'll get to see my sister more than once a year, sometimes once every 3 or 4 years. And of course, my nephews as well. So looking very, very forward to that. All right. Let's talk about it. Good evening to everyone that's here. We got Justin saying hello, Dennis, and from Ellie and Justin in Melbourne, watching in Melbourne tonight. Love the East Coast. I love a little more south. I like going down through the Vero, down to Jupiter and Juneau area. If you've never been to Juneau Beach, by the way, perfect. Such a beautiful spot on the southeast coast. Hey, Jessica, good evening. Kurt, how's it going, buddy? Jason, not Greg, but Greg is amazing as well. I got Mary in from Leomin tonight. Mary, good to see you here as well. Yeah, so let's talk about it. Out there tonight, nothing. We've got a very quiet weather forecast here for us. Here's what it looks like at the beach right now. Anna Maria Island, our mainsail beaching camera, showing up beautifully this evening as the sun is on its way to set. But notice the high clouds. Those are the ones that the sun is filtering through. These are thin cirrus clouds. They're going to be thickening up here as we go from tomorrow into Sunday, and eventually we're going to start getting some rain into the forecast as well. The rain chances are going to really be ramping up here for us as we are looking at the rain on the way for Saturday. So out there here for the rest of tonight, we're looking great. We've got temperatures that are into the 80s and 70s right now. We'll level off into the mid 70s here through midnight. So if you have any dinner plans for yourself or your sweetheart or your kiddos out there tonight. Maybe they have some softball or soccer practice or something like that going on. No issues all the way through 10 o'clock tonight. Fast forward to tomorrow morning, it'll be a warm one. We have winds coming in out of the west. You probably noticed that west wind today, 15 to 20 miles per hour. We're going to see those gusts higher over the next couple of days, and by Saturday we could see some gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Those winds are coming off of the 76-degree waters in the Gulf, though, so notice 70s here at the coast when you wake up tomorrow morning, 60s inland. Our average low this time of year, upper 60s, so we're not too far away from that for most. And then a look ahead to tomorrow's forecast, it's exactly like today. So if you live west of 75, you're going to be into the 80s because of the cooler winds coming in off of the cooler Gulf. If you are east of 75, ouch, it's going to be a toasty one for you. You get no help from those cooler Gulf waters with a west wind like this. So clearly you see the big difference here between the orange colors and the red colors. And those red colors, they are not that pretty out there for those of you that are in our inland spots. So again, we are going to be talking about the heat being much higher here for us for those of you east of I-75 as we go into your Friday. And then getting into Saturday's forecast, that's when we're all going to be stuck into the 80s because we're going to add more clouds to the mix, and then the rain chances come in. So with that being said, anybody have any issues with your Friday outlook? That I cover everything for Friday? Let me know in the comments, and I'll try and sneak back here into the comments and see what you guys are saying for that. All right, now let's talk about the weekend, and I'll take this full screen again here because we've got a lot happening here this weekend, and I know so many of you are saying, I hear the rain's coming, and that it is. And normally we would be bummed about the rain coming in here on a Saturday. We're not. We are absolutely not in our drought-stricken area here of the Gulf. If you go back to September, remember our drought started toward the end of rainy season last year. This isn't just a 2026 thing. If you go all the way back to September, our drought actually started then because we had an early stop to the dry season last year. Most of September, we did not see significant rains. So we have two cold fronts on the way. One is currently kind of hugging the I-10 corridor right now. Literally, it's hugging the I-10 corridor. It is in this area here. So this is where we're seeing all the rainfall here, which is great news because my parents up into the Panhandle, which they're actually here for my sister coming in tonight, they're here at my house now, but they are in just about as bad of a drought as we are up toward Destin, Fort Walton Beach, Crestview, Pensacola. So they are desperate for the rainfall. Had a little bit yesterday. They've got some more coming in from the New Orleans area tonight. Front number 2, that is the one that you see up here giving some rain between Chicago, St. Louis, Wichita. That's the one that's going to die farther south and push that front toward I-10 down south as we get into your Saturday outlook. So 10 a.m. Saturday morning. Now this is important because again, the headline that Dennis wrote for me last night to come in here and do this tonight, it did look like this would be more of a Sunday event, maybe Sunday morning. But a couple of days ago, it actually even looked like Sunday evening. That's all changed. And the reason why that's changed, and Dennis probably talked about it, we were looking at the potential for low pressure developing on this front when it got here for this weekend. Well, that's not going to happen now. It doesn't look like low pressure is going to develop on this boundary. And with low pressure developing in the models, that was holding the front back over the Gulf, allowing for more moisture to head our way. Well, now that doesn't look to be the case at all. We're talking about the potential for this front to just come through by itself as a front. Good news, bad news. Good news, it lowers the rain timing if you have those Saturday and Sunday plans outside. But the bad news is it brings the rain totals down. And unfortunately, last weekend and even earlier this week, there were a lot of social meteorologists that we call it here, but even broadcast meteorologists in this area that were posting about 2, 4, 6, 8 inches of rainfall coming to Florida. I even saw some Panhandle meteorologists that were saying tornadoes coming to Florida this weekend and scary, boo-hoo, blah. Don't ever. If you see something like that and it's for 5 to 7 days out, ignore it, check in with us. We'll let you know if it's something that we need to be concerned about because we are absolutely not the team that hypes anything up. What we were hoping for, though, is that rainfall forecast would verify. It is not going to hold because, again, we are looking at, of course, that low pressure not developing on it. All right, so let's get to 3 o'clock into the afternoon. This is where the big changes are because, again, what Dennis and everybody have been showing you the last couple of days would be more Sunday morning. This is now Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. We're talking about a much earlier arrival time happening here for the rain as we go into the Nature Coast. So we'll say right now, and this is subject to change, I'll be in Saturday morning on Good Morning Tampa Bay starting our coverage at 6 a.m. I'll have the very latest timing on that rain potential as we go into this weekend. So check back in with me then. Check back in with Dennis tomorrow evening. He'll be back. He's just off today. But yeah, between 3, 4, 5 o'clock, it looks like that'll be the start time here for the Nature Coast. And then for those of you south from Pinellas County east over to over along I-4 into Polk County, sometime between 4 and 8 o'clock. And then for our southern spots, it looks like it would be generally between, we'll say, 5 and 9-ish. And notice the red, yellow, and orange colors in there too. That's what we want to see. We don't want to see any severe potential, and that risk looks very, very low. Again, if you saw the scary stuff that people were posting earlier, tornadoes coming, we always could have the potential for an isolated water spout with cold fronts. But that's the potential. It doesn't look like this would be any kind of a significant severe risk. Always have to look for gusty winds as well, maybe 50, 60 miles per hour in some of the stronger storms. So again, I'll be here all day Saturday. I'll be posting updates all day Saturday. I'll let you know if anything does look like it's going to be a little stronger. But right now, that is not the case. Fast forward to 7:30 and you see the front blasting east. And again, this is going to now be a quick moving system because low pressure is not expected to develop along this boundary and hold it up into the Gulf. So by midnight, we're talking about few lingering showers, that's it. And then by Sunday morning, we're looking at the potential for us to even start to see some sunshine for our northern spots. And then by Sunday afternoon, we clear out, and look at how different the forecast is compared to just a couple of days ago for Sunday to what it is today. Sunday is going to be gorgeous because we're also looking at that dreaded summer humidity coming with this front as well. It's going to feel more like July and August here Saturday. You'll notice the humidity creeping up tomorrow, but it's really Saturday that it's going to be gross basically with the humidity out there. And then Sunday we get back to late April, early May humidity. It's going to be a lot more comfortable as we get into this weekend. So did that clear up what it looks like, what the latest is for you guys? Again, I kind of stinks when the timing is changing so quickly, a couple of days away from it, but it's weather. We're trying to predict the future here the best we can, and the models are the best tools that we have, and they're not 100%, as we are not 100% right all the time. But we definitely got enough notice to give you that heads up that, yeah, we're changing more to a Saturday rain threat now, especially evening versus what we're seeing on Sunday. All right, I'm going to go back into some of the comments here on Facebook and see if you guys have any questions, specific ones that I can answer. Gail in Largo, good evening, Gail. Hopefully the Largo bubble bursts for you guys Saturday so you get some decent rain too. Kyle, yes, definitely a little bit different looking with Dennis tonight. Not sure what it is. It might be the beard. That's definitely the difference here. Joe in St. Pete, good evening, my friend. Douglas in Port Richey, and we are looking at Zachary. Yeah, we got somewhere around here. Dennis has the rule number 7 sweatshirts. Gotta go find one. Yes, Mary, exactly. You gotta love the hype or not. Yeah, it's get used to that. Hurricane season's right around the corner. I'm not going to talk about hurricane season because I don't want to. But that's what we also look for during hurricane season as well. Of course, you guys know that people post a hurricane track 7 days out coming into the Gulf, and then nothing happens. 7 days later, the Gulf is clear. So check in with our team. We will always be the team that tells you when we need to worry. Sure, we'll talk about it. If it's getting so much crazy hype on social media, sure, we'll talk about it, but we'll give you our thoughts. And at that time, we're also going to tell you it's 7 days out, so calm down. Everybody stay chill. Check back in 2 to 3 days. We'll have a clearer idea of what it looks like then. Then we need to know if we need to worry about it. And of course, with hurricane season right around the corner, you guys get prepared now. The basic preps. You don't need to do anything crazy, but you know, buy the tarps, buy the extra bottled water, buy some of the perishables. That way, of course, if we see one, hopefully we have a 2025 repeat, which is nothing in the Gulf. Fingers crossed, well, at least nothing here at home. Yes, then we'll worry about it then. But yeah, we want you to get those basic necessities done now. One less thing you have to worry about should our area be threatened. Hi, Mom. Mom's on here tonight. Love you, Mom. Glad you guys are here with me, and glad the sis. Oh yeah, Mom did text me. I forgot to see. Let me see what Mom said. Yep, sister update. They are now in Georgia. So yeah, about an hour away from Jacksonville, and then the newest Floridians will be here. Finally, my sister and her boys, Connor and Mason, my sister Jeanette. Can't wait to see them tomorrow. They're probably not going to get in until after I get off of work tonight, which isn't until 11:30. I'm going to go home and sleep. Don't tell her that. I'll see her in the morning, though. All right, Clearwater, Keith, good evening. Stan, good evening to you, my friend. Yeah, I got to talk about my little buddy Ninja as well. I got an update for you guys. We talked about him last time. And Daniel saying Dallas versus Minnesota has started as well. So that's what it looks like. Oh, I think somebody jumped on after I talked about the rain chance and asked about it one more time. Where's that comment? Yeah, Monica, sorry, I missed your comment. Nope, I'm sorry, Monica, I didn't miss your comment. Where did I see that one that was asking? Rochelle, there it is, missed you. Yeah, so Rochelle, I'll go back. We'll do it one more time for people just jumping in. Rain chances the last couple of days have looked like Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. now it's Saturday night. Timing has sped up quite a bit because the models were showing that we could see low pressure attached to the front, and that was going to hold things back into the Gulf for an additional 12 to 24-hour period before everything comes through Sunday. Low pressure is likely not going to develop on that front now, so that changed the timing of it, but it also brought down the amount of rainfall that the forecast models have been showing here for the last couple of days. So there's 11:30. The morning will be dry Saturday morning. That still looks to be the case. If you have anything planned Saturday morning, you're fine. But as we go into the afternoon, 1 to 4 for the Nature Coast for a potential start time for some rain for you. We'll say 4 to 7, 8-ish along I-4, Pinellas County over through I-4 in Hillsborough and Polk County. And then as we go from 5 to 9 for our southern spots and our far inland spots, that's the rain chance for you guys now. The red, yellow, and orange colors, that's the thunderstorm potential. We'll always watch for an isolated severe risk with cold fronts, especially this time of year into the spring, but this is not one of those fronts that's going to deliver quite a punch with it. But an isolated water spout or a damaging wind gust, not out of the question. Notice as we go to midnight, 1:30 in the morning, bulk of the rain's out of here, and then we'll clear out very quickly going through Sunday. Sunday is going to be delightful. It's going to be so humid Saturday ahead of the front. Very, very summer-like humidity out there this weekend. And then we're going to see the rain chances dropping off for Sunday and the humidity coming back down, feeling a lot more comfortable out there. So yes, that's what we are looking at here for the weekend forecast. So if you were concerned about the Sunday rain, that rain chance is ramped up a good 12 plus hours. And now it looks like it's going to be more of a Saturday night thing as well. All right, Stan, you were asking about Ninja. So for those of you who don't know, I have a cat. Long story short, my brother pawned him off on me when I didn't want a cat. I had a cat for 20 years. Poor little guy, he met his end of life, and about 2 weeks later, my brother called me. I got orders to go to Japan. He's in the Air Force, and he was like, "We just got this stupid cat, and I'm not paying $600 to have this cat quarantined for however long it is to get the cat in Japan." He was like, "Will you take him?" And I was like, "No, I just put my cat to sleep. Like, I'm not doing that again. Don't want anything to do with him. Find someone in Wichita." So like 2 days later, my brother calls me, but it was my nephew who was like 6 at that time. He's now 18. He called and he was like, "Uncle Jason, will you please take," his name was Milo at that time. He's like, "Will you please take Milo? I don't want him to die." And he's like crying because my brother told him they got him from a kill shelter. So if they take him back, so he was like, "Call your Uncle Jason and tell him you don't want him to go back to that bad shelter." So I was guilt tripped into taking my brother's cat that he only had for a couple of weeks. And I told my nephew, because he's solid black cat, and growing up with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the first thing I thought when I saw the black cat was, I was like, I'm gonna name him Ninja, because they were all dressed in full black. So I told my nephew, Caleb, I said, "I'll take him back on one condition. Can I change his name to Ninja?" And he was like, Dad, why don't we name him Ninja?" He was like, so he got from tears to very excited about now Milo's name being Ninja. And I've had Ninja going on 14 years. He turns 15 in like 5 days. Yeah, May 5th is his birthday. So we will be celebrating Ninja's birthday. But yes, so last time I was on DPL, Ninja had just been diagnosed with cat diabetes, feline diabetes. And we weren't sure about what was next. He's an older cat. He's 14. Again, he'll be 15 coming up. So we were concerned about the treatment options and yada, yada, yada. So over the last 2 months, we've been going back to his doctor almost every week, doing new glucose curves, finding out the exact amount of insulin that's going to work for him. And he's doing great. Mom and Dad picked him up from the vet today because today, while I was here, he had his latest glucose curve. And Dr. Hare said, numbers look great. She's going to talk to me tomorrow, though, and we're going to keep him on his insulin that we have right now. But we've actually reduced his insulin from when we started. It was 3 units of insulin. Now it's just 1 unit. I mean, we're talking about that much insulin for him because his diet changed. Many of you were telling me that. Change his diet. You got to get him off of the stuff he's on now. We put him on a high fiber diet as, of course, a hypoglycemia. I'm not a vet. I think that's what it is. So we switched him on that diet, and everything's good. So he's doing just fine. My little buddy has no issues. And then we're going to talk tomorrow to the vet, but the vet did tell my parents to tell me to keep him on his 1 unit, and his numbers are great. So far so good with Ninja. Next up for him is his cat dental. He has to have that, and that plays a part in his diabetes too, because he has this thing called stomatitis. Docs describe it basically as like gingivitis for us, but it's an autoimmune thing with their gums, and the tartar on their teeth causes their gums to flare up, and it's very painful. So for years, Ninja's had his annual dental cleaning, sometimes too, if the vet says, yeah, his gums aren't doing too hot. But we've had to put that off hold because we needed to get his diabetes in check, and that's what we were doing. I took him in for his pre-blood work, or his pre-dentist blood work, And that's how we found out he had diabetes. So that was back in February. So she wants to get his teeth still done because that will also help control his sugar numbers and his insulin numbers and all that stuff. So anywho, spent way too long talking about my cat. You're not here to hear about Jason's cat. You're here about the weather. Talked about what it looks like this weekend. I do want to highlight Riverfest, Tampa Riverfest. Are you going to be there tomorrow or are you going to be there Saturday? Looks great tomorrow. Again, like today, a little breezy, sun and clouds mixed, mid 80s, a little more humid tomorrow. And then Saturday evening after 3 p.m., just start looking at your radar app. Download our Storm Shield app. It's free. It's got the radar right there at the touch of a button when you open the app on your smartphone. That way you can see where the rain is. It'll be in the Gulf initially, moving into the Nature Coast, and then slowly heading south throughout the late afternoon into the evening hours. And then Sunday's going to be awesome. It's going to be beautiful out there. And as far as totals go, again, this was the disappointing part, and this is what's so frustrating with being a broadcast meteorologist sometimes, is because we're always competing with social media now. 18 years ago, I've been in the business for 18 years now. We never had to deal with that, as everybody was coming to us for the answers. But now anybody and everyone continues to post on social media. And you guys, if you've been here long enough, you see it with the hurricanes. I don't have to tell you how frustrating it is. But yes, the models a couple of days ago, they were saying several inches of rain likely coming our way. That changed like that, because that's forecasting for you. When you're trying to predict the future, you're as good as your models are. Plus, you know, we have a lot of experience between our team here. We've got like 70, 80 years of experience combined together. So trying to figure out rainfall totals in the dry season, in the middle of a drought, and in an environment that is not favorable for a lot of rainfall, but the models were going against that, saying several inches were on the way. Well, clearly the latest numbers not showing that. Now, this is our in-house model. It's called our graph model. I didn't look at what the Euro had showed. Let me see if it's increased the numbers or decreased the numbers at all. Let's see, I don't have the plots on this one, but we do have the colors. So yeah, Euro's really come down as well. This is a ½ inch or less for the bulk of the area. With the Euro, let me see, where's my GFS? Got it in here somewhere, but if not, I'm guessing it's probably not that much different. Let's see what the GFS says. Wake up. There we go. GFS is the same thing, ½ inch or less now. So our in-house model is actually showing that we could get a little bit more than what the two really reliable models are, but this in-house model does very good as well. So what it's showing is a ½ inch for most or less. In blue, it's showing that there's the potential for a pocket of 1 inch to 1.5 inches, but that's only going to be the case if you get a repeat period of thunderstorms. If you get one line of thunderstorms and then just light rain behind it, you're lucky to get a 1/4 inch. We will certainly take every single drop we can get because the drought numbers came in today. And as you guys know, I said this on air earlier tonight, I don't mean to be Captain Obvious, but yeah, we're still stuck in a drought, right? And nothing's improved. So there are the numbers here for the state, for the central part of the state. Inland spots in far northeastern sections of Polk County, you have been very fortunate with the rainfall compared to the rest of us, so you're in only a level 2 drought, while we're in a level 4 in red. And notice the exceptional, that's the level 5, that's the highest category of drought. Look how close it is to us now. That's kind of scary, right? We're already under water restrictions. We are already limited to watering 1 day a week. You're already not allowed to do any cleaning outside, pressure washing your house or anything like that. If we get into those colors, which is a very good possibility heading into May, because May is the driest month of the year. I think May and April kind of tied for the driest month of the year. But the problem with May is that it heats up. It heats up really fast, and we're going to be into the 90s here every day before you know it. So over the next 2 weeks, there's the potential that we could be bumped up to the next level category here for those of you that are currently in red. So this rain that's coming this weekend, I'm very happy that it's coming, but it's not going to do much to really change anything up for us drought-wise. And we probably are going to say that for another 6 weeks, because not until the second, third week of June is when the rainy season really ramps up. One thing we have to be very cautious about, though, in hopes that the rainy season is going to fix this, is that we're transitioning into an El Nino year. I don't know if Dennis has talked about this with you guys here on DPL, but El Nino does very good for us rainfall-wise in the fall and winter. We had that a couple of years ago, and it was also really chilly. I remember there were a lot of days where we were stuck into the 40s and 50s for highs. I want to say that was 2023, 2022 maybe. That was an El Nino year, and that was the last really strong El Nino year we were in, and that's the one that really helped us out in the fall and winter with rain and cooler weather. The problem with it in the summertime, though, is the El Nino pattern can usually set up a west wind pattern for us, and that's one that favors the east coast for rainfall, not the west coast. Our normal summer pattern here in our part of Florida is an east wind pattern that brings the sea breeze from the Atlantic all the way to our sea breeze stuck here at the Gulf Coast. The two come together, it's like a car crash, boom, you get the explosion of showers and storms. So with that being said, if El Nino is going to come in earlier. We think it's going to hold off until after the summer, at least into the mid to late part of summer. We could once again get an early shutoff to our rainy season. We'll see. We'll see what happens. All it takes is one tropical system, though, to bring in 5 to 10 inches of rainfall, and that would obviously put a huge dent in our deficits, refill the aquifers, refill the ponds, the lakes. I mean, it's crazy. My retention pond in my backyard for the past 15 years, it seems like, has always just been full because of how many hurricanes, whether they've grazed us or they've come through the area, or tropical systems have dropped so much rain. I haven't had rain since last summer in that thing, and that's just crazy because it dried up before the summer ended last year because of the El Nino pattern and the west wind pattern that we were seeing last summer. So hopefully that's not going to be the case, but that is something to think about and keep an eye on here as we head into the next several months. What else can we talk about here? Are we going to cool down any? Yep, I've got a little bit of a cool down coming up, but it's May. You know, the cold fronts aren't going to bring much cold air with it, and if it does, it's one day, and that's it. Cool air coming in Sunday, low to mid 80s, but I think we'll enjoy the low humidity through at least Tuesday, so some good news there. And your 7-day forecast shows that the best rain chance obviously happening here Saturday night now. I put the PM in there as well with the 60%. And then for Sunday morning, that's most likely going to be before sunrise. By 1, 2 a.m., the models are really showing that this system is going to be more progressive and getting out of here much more quickly now. So that's what it looks like here for next week. And then following the front this weekend into next week, we're going to go right back to 90 degrees. And like I mentioned a second ago, May is the 90s. That's when they return and they start showing up daily as that average high continues to rapidly ramp up into the summer months where we get into the low to mid 90s for those average highs. So there's your forecast in a nutshell. Let me check and see comments if I have anything from you guys. Rochelle, thank you. Glad to hear, so glad that Ninja's doing well. I'm glad that you guys, and if I think I commented on the post, I posted on my Facebook page. So many of you had recommendations that were spot on. So thank you for that. Thank you for your recommendations. Thank you for telling me about your pet stories and your cat stories that have dealt with the same thing. Some of you are talking about your dogs and their diabetes as well. And it's funny because Ninja wasn't really an overweight cat. He was 16 pounds, but he's a big cat. He's very lengthy, so he's not like chunky around his belly or anything. So when she said that he had diabetes, I was really surprised. I was like, oh, I thought that was something with like poor diet and being overweight. And he was already on a diet for his arthritis because he's an old boy. So I already had him on like a prescription diet, but I guess it can happen really to anyone. So. All right, what else can I talk to you guys about? Coming up here on 5 more minutes left before I'm going to head out for my dinner time. If you have a question, jot it in the chat. Got the chat pulled up. I just wanted to really hint on the change in the forecast that we were looking at coming into your weekend. What are some of the other events? How about the Rowdies game? I don't think this graphic's updated yet, so it might be a little wonky here, but let me see if it did update. It updated through 8 o'clock. So there you go, Rowdies fans. I'm right there with you. I'm a Rowdies guy. Got to watch that line of showers and storms because that could put a little hiccup in the forecast here for us. 7:30 start time against Indy 11. And we are looking at the rain chances at 60% at that kickoff. So we'll be watching that for the Rowdies game this weekend. What other events are happening this weekend? I usually set them up Saturday morning for all of my weekend events that I have. I know Busch Gardens has their Food and Wine Festival, Food, Wine, and Garden Festival. They've had a lot of concerts here recently. Hanson was here last weekend. Let's see what their concert series looks like here this weekend if you're going to be heading out to the concert. Bow Wow and the Ying Yang Twins. Whoa, I haven't heard of the Ying Yang. Oh man, it's been a long time since I've heard of them, but they're still doing great. Bow Wow too. He's not little Bow Wow anymore. He's full-on adult now. I remember him being a little Bow Wow. And then Sunday is Taking Back Sunday. I'm not sure who they are. And then it looks like next weekend we've got another round of NSYNC people. It looks like Chris Kirkpatrick, O-Town, Ryan Cabrera, and LFO coming in next weekend. So we'll deal with that next weekend. But this weekend, looking pretty good here. Well, wait, that's Saturday night. Yeah, Saturday at 7 and 8 o'clock. So same thing for you, going to Busch Gardens to see Bow Wow and the Ying Yang Twins. You'll want to watch the forecast heading into Saturday night. All right, one more recap with Futurecast. Again, Dennis is back tomorrow. He will be giving you the very latest of what it looks like 24 hours out from this rainfall forecast. But right now, everything is showing Saturday evening into Saturday night. So there's 1:30. Fast forward to 3 o'clock. Fast forward to 4:30, that line of red showing up. That's what we want to see because that's the heavy rain associated with the thunderstorm potential. We want thunderstorms. We want that heavy rain from these thunderstorms. We don't just want an area of light rain coming through. Let's see, by 6 p.m., there's what it looks like front continues to slide east pretty quickly at 7:30. And that's what it looks like here heading into dinner time. And then overnight, that's how fast this is clearing out now. And again, just a couple of days ago, it did not look like it was that. It definitely looked like when last couple of days that it would be more of a Sunday event. But look at that. 3:30 Sunday afternoon, delightful. 70s and 80s, and the humidity from Saturday, gone. Looking pretty good. And enjoy that low humidity because we're not going to be able to say that much more over the next 4 weeks, but all the way through October until cold front season returns by then. All right, I think that is it for me tonight. Laura, good evening. She says she's new to this, watches Dennis when he's on. Happy I'm in here tonight. Glad Ninja's doing better as well. Me too. Thank you, Laura. Appreciate that. Yeah, Charnel Riverfest looking good. Daniel, 100%. Bolts got to win it or we're out tomorrow night. Fingers crossed. I wore my blue. My Bolts blue tonight because I'm not here tomorrow night. But yes, hopefully the Bolts take care of business. We go to Game 7 and we win it in 7. Although we were talking with Wendy and Paul earlier tonight, Game 7 is a stretch, especially with 3 of these games have been OT wins for the teams. These boys are going to be tired heading into the next round. So hopefully we get a little bit of a break to allow them to get some rest because it's not been easy for us. But I did say at least we've had a great series, right? And the series has been awesome to watch. 2 very competitive teams and 2 very deserving teams to be in the playoffs, clearly, because we're 3-2 now. We were 2-2 until last night. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Thank you for hanging out tonight. Again, Dennis will be back tomorrow. I'll be in Saturday morning, 6 a.m. with the very latest on this rain chance here for Saturday. Hope to see you then here on Tampa Bay 28. Y'all have a good night.